What's up, troop? In today's video I'm going to break down how you can approach EQing your vocals and get it done a lot faster, ideally less than 5 minutes. Alright, let's take this example here. Today's video is sponsored by DistroKid. They're my music distributor. If you'd like to get your music out to all of the major streaming and download platforms at a price an independent artist like yourself can easily afford, check the description for a discount off of your first year today. Okay, so let's just disable what we've got on it. So naked, it is like so. Alright, so essentially it's now lost, even though we've brought the gain back up to 0. And let's just give it a fresh EQ on here. I'm using Pro Q3. You can use your stock EQ, that's absolutely fine. I do advise having an analyzer option can be really useful for finding key parts of a vocal and, you know, understanding where maybe like the fundamentals are lying and things like that. Between your 20 and 50 hertz range, there's not usually going to be too much down there unless you've got a really bassy male vocal. In the like 50 to 200 range, you might find some fundamental sounds in there. If we check this out, for example, we can see that she's just about in the lower notes tickling the 200, right? If it's a male vocal, it's probably going to be a bit further down, so maybe even an octave down, and you'll see some in that 100 range. And that's going to be a lot down to proximity with the microphone. As I move closer to the microphone, we get more of those undertones there. If I move further away, they come away. Depending on how upfront you want the vocal to be, that's your area to work on. If you want it to sound nice and balanced and kind of almost in your face, you want to lift those tones up there. And I can simulate that here. So if we bring her lower tones here, and what we'll do, we'll use a shelf. If we bring these tones here up,
I can't fall to my knees and tell you I'm sorry.
which is about there, you're getting that proximity difference, right? 6 dB.
Do too much. Start again with our love. It's all for one and one for all, so are you.
Alright, and then, you know, like I said before, we haven't really got anything in this low end, so we could just roll that out in this case. Something like a 24 dB sleep, so what I tend to go for. Some people recommend a bit more gentle, like a 12. I'm doing electronic music, it kind of needs to be on point. So we could take all of that below the 100 out. There's nothing down there of use to us. We can see it straight away. We could check it out by just doing this. There's another down there that we need. All our proximities up here. I don't think we need to really lift it up too much. Maybe just a little bit like that.
Won't have to do too much. Start again with our love.
And that gives us a little proximity effect if we need it, right? Just a couple of inches closer to the microphone and got more of that proximity effect. We're simulating it here with EQ by adjusting that balance, and it's just correcting what the balance feels right to be. It actually sounds fine without it on, but we could do it if we needed. Now, if you think something does need a boost, for example, we could maybe boost up here around the 3K range. If we listen, there's lots of key information up there, right? And that's really somewhere where your ear really latches onto. Now, if we did quite a narrow cue and just boost that region, it's instantly tinny. You know, maybe we've brought that region up that was down a little bit and we've accented it, but it's instantly tinny and unpleasant.
We're both to blame for this, so tell me, are you down with me? Won't have to do too much.
So if you're going to do any kind of boost, generally on an EQ, big sweeping is going to be better. It's going to sound a lot more natural. That's going to bring up loads of extra stuff with it, but
I can't fall to my knees and tell you I'm sorry.
The tinniness isn't there, right? And we've still done the same boost, same amount.
Won't have to do too much.
Now I say if you're going to boost, because I recommend always cutting essentially on vocals. The only time I really will boost is high end to counteract for inertia. Inertia is you're recording on a microphone, some of the high end gets lost, it doesn't have much energy, and we tend to just do a shelf for that. I would actually suggest we do here is potentially lower the middle, like so, big sweeping, low like that, maybe just a dB. And when you're cutting, you can be a bit more narrow. It doesn't sound as affected. And by doing that, we've helped that 3K region come up, and we've helped our proximity effect come up a bit as well. So when we bring it up in the mix or compress it, it's going to be there for us. We've got some S tones coming through for sure. You can see them jump up quite a bit on the frequency analyzer. Now, you might be inclined to, say, take a bell and go whoop, and yeah, there you go. That's nice and controlled now, but we've lost all that airiness in the vocal. And that's where a de-esser really comes into play. So I'd actually be more inclined myself to lift up this high end, believe it or not, and give us a little bit more shine. Really up in the high end though. So I'd make this into a shelf. And I'll give a little something like that. And I'd look at controlling those S sounds later with the de-esser, but because I have Pro Q loaded up here, we can make individual bands dynamic. So if we make ourselves a new band here, we can control just those S tones, which are around here. Let's give it 6 dB of control. And if we go to auto, we can set our threshold here. So most of the time it's not touching here, but then key moments, it's now going to catch those tones for us. Could dial it in even more here.
Tell me, are you down with me? Won't have to do too much.
Have we improved the vocal?
With our love. It's all for one and one for all, so are you down with me?
Kind of doesn't matter on its own. How about in context? Seems alright. Let's give it its compression back. If you want to check out this full song, it is linked below. And if you'd like a lot more detail on how I approach a vocal process, watch this video next, because we break down that entire process over a much longer, more in-depth video. I look forward to seeing you in that one. Take care.